Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. How are you today? Come right on in. We are a few minutes early, but come on in. Happy Monday to you. I'm Barbara Perkins, and this is Real Talk with Love. This is Real Talk with Love, week number 21. Hey, Charlene. Charlene, you're getting the prize today. We're going to give out a gift today, and you, my darling, are the recipient of our gift today. Hearts right back to you. Come on in, everybody. It's Monday, 7 o'clock here in Atlanta, 4 o'clock for those of you on the West Coast who like to stop in. Happy to have you as usual. We're going to listen to Brannis for a few moments. Brannis McKenzie singing our theme song, which is Sisters at the Well. Written for us, 10 years ago, Brannis wrote this song, and it is still absolutely amazing and wonderful. It talks about being at the well. And we know all about that. So come on in. Hey, Renee and Brandy. Come right on in. Y'all know what to do. Hit the share button. Tag somebody. Let a few other folks come in and check us out. Hey, Cody Odie. Hope the volume is good today. Thank you. So I'm going to turn Brannis down a little bit. It's always wonderful to be able to come before you. Thank you for joining. I don't take it lightly that on a Monday afternoon for some and early evening for the others, you can be doing so many other things, but you're going to stop in on a Monday, spend about 30 minutes with me as we chat it up a little bit. Have a great title tonight. This is one of those lessons where, you teach yourself. As they say, one teaches best what one needs to know. So our topic tonight is the habit of procrastination. Ooh-wee. It could get really good. I made some notes, but I may not even go off the notes. I might just talk about my own stuff tonight. Let y'all listen in. Hi, Coralie. But before we get started, I'd like to, of course, always acknowledge what's going on around us. So I'll turn Brannis down. Hit that share button. Let a few other folks come on in with us tonight. But I want to start out by talking, of course, about this pandemic that we find ourselves in. Still, here we are. This is 21 weeks for us here at Real Talk with Love. Coach Barbara coming to you, just wanting to share some thoughts about things that are certainly on my mind and perhaps on your mind. Hey, Sharon. Things we've talked about over the last 21 weeks. We thought when we started out, that this was going to be just a few weeks to get us through the pandemic. Just a few weeks to get us through being sheltered in, And here we are 21 weeks later. We've been on lockdown for 24 weeks. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Gwen. It's a long time. We had no idea. So I was thinking about, in fact, yesterday I was in a conversation with Coralie. Was it yesterday or Saturday? And I was talking about, for those of you who know, I grew up in the Bahamas. I grew up in a small little town over the hill, Nassau, Bahamas. And such a beautiful place. My folks are still there, and I go back frequently, and I'm missing it right now. But I was checking on my godmother, who lives on an island called Eleuthera. Was checking on her, and there were no cases of the coronavirus there just a couple of months ago. And really, up until mid-July, it was very few cases. However, this weekend, I found out that it was just under 1,800 cases. I mean, my mouth fell open because I was horrified to think about families who have just made it through, still struggling after Dorian last year, that big hurricane that came through. Storm wiped out whole communities of people, and certainly the family island of Abaco and Grand Bahama, just devastated. And then, we get hit with this pandemic of the virus. So trying to keep people safe and keep the count down, because the medical resources are not as readily available. And so we looked up, and towards the end of July, when the island opened again, there was this immediately, within days, like a week, the spike, to the point now where almost 1,800 people have been diagnosed with coronavirus. Hi, Della. 29 deaths. And I think I read something like 220 some people had recovered. It's frightening. It's very frightening. And so I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about, how people have to protect themselves, because again, the resources on that small island are not the same as the resources we have here in the country. So, I have a sister friend, Kathleen, who gave me a few months ago kind of a home remedy. Listen, we're not doctors here, so we don't have any idea what the cure is. We have no idea. But what we do know is that we have to take care of ourselves, and people have to do the best they can to try to get through it if you are diagnosed or a family member is. Hi, Tracy. So, Kathleen sent and I'm going to ask that we put this home remedy. A lot of home remedies. We did a show one night on all the things you should have in your emergency kit, and we talked about all those old-fashioned remedies. Well, there seems to be a treatment, because the virus hits your respiratory system, and that's the biggest challenge. People can't breathe, right? So Kathleen sent this amazing recipe that people can use to help them breathe better. And it's a tea. So we're going to put it in the thread. And it has the peel from an orange, sliced ginger, lemon, turmeric, honey, and hot water. And of course, I'm sure you've heard, if you keep drinking hot fluids, that would be helpful. And so she sent me this thing about this tea and a steam inhalant, how you create this hot pot with steam and keep that to your face. Also, we talked earlier in the year, a few months ago, about having products on hand that will help you build your immune system. And so I'm offering that as an idea. Once we put it in a thread, copy it down and share it, because we got to help ourselves. I mean, going to the hospital right now, it's like, I don't know, it seems like that's the worst place to go. I'm not suggesting that you don't, right? So no one hold me to it. I don't have any kind of medical training. But I'm certainly old enough to remember what Big Mama them used to do. And for those of you who understand what I'm talking about, you know, Big Mama and those had something for everything that ailed you. And so this is a Big Mama remedy that we're going to put in the thread and hope that it is helpful. Share it, because, you know, what are we going to do? Especially when we think about, you know, when we think about this small island that I grew up in. We have to protect ourselves. And then lastly, I'm going to say it every week. I'm going to say it until folks get tired of hearing it. We can't make you do anything, but you can't get tired of wearing your mask. And you can't get tired of washing your hands every 10 minutes and wiping down the surfaces in your home. My kids, you know, they look at me like I'm crazy sometimes because I'm spraying Lysol on everything. Hey, Tracy. Everything, every surface, every morning, I'm wiping down and I'm spraying. Everything. Sharon said soursop plant to make tea. That's another one. I know what soursop is. So maybe it's the home remedies that are going to get us through this thing. It's not so much the testing. I mean, so many people are asymptomatic. I drink every single morning since this started. I mean, I'm a tea drinker anyway, but we've been doing cinnamon and ginger, fresh ginger and lime every single morning. That's what we've been doing. So I'm just going to offer that as an idea to keep trying to take care of yourselves. And if you hear of something that might work, somebody used it, share it with someone else, because we have to take care of each other. So that's it for the coronavirus. But, you know, we're getting weary, but we can't. We have to hold on. That's what Brandis' song just said. Hold on. We got to get to the other side of this thing. So wear your mask, right? Wear your mask. Be considerate of others. Minimize your outings to the best of your ability. And just be safe, everybody. Take care of yourselves. So now, we've gotten that. We've done that. Let's talk about our topic of the day. Have you shared it yet? Will you hit this share button? Share it. Tag a few people. Let them come on in as we talk about this habit of procrastination. Let's think first of all. Let's get on the same page about what it is. It is a habit. It's not who we are. And sometimes people would say, you know, I'm just a procrastinator. I'm going to say, no, you're not. If you've ever said that before, I have. So raise your hand if you've ever called yourself a procrastinator. Hi, Willa. Well, I'm going to offer a new way to look at that. You are not a procrastinator. You might have a habit of procrastinating, but that's not who you are. And I'm going to suggest that you not own that. Yes, Willa, it's evil. It's a habit. It's not such a good habit. It doesn't serve us well. But I will tell you what it does. Procrastination is when we intentionally put off things that we know we need to be doing. That might even be the thing that serves us best. And we put it off, right? And we find other things to do to distract us from even getting to it. We actually sometimes go out of our way to find something else to do to distract us from the thing that we think we do not want to do. Yes, it's a thief. So why do we do that? Because I think we all know that it doesn't serve us well. So why do you think we do that? First of all, Science, research has shown that procrastination feeds the brain. It gives it a little bit of a high. It makes you a little happy. In fact, sometimes when we refer to ourselves in that way, we do it in a joking manner. We'll say, girl, I'm just procrastinating. Today, I'm just not doing it. I'm going to procrastinate. And it's almost as if we're somewhat proud of it. But no, we're not. It's a trick. It comes from a place way beneath the surface, maybe even akin to fear, right? Maybe fear. Something's going on. What are we telling ourselves? Research once again has shown that when there is chronic procrastination, there's stress. There's some underlying stress that's going on. There's something we're telling ourselves about ourselves when we're doing that. And because it's self-inflicted, because we say it, I'm a procrastinator. We don't wait for someone else to tell us that. We go on and say it, right? Something else is going on. It's sometimes some underlying belief that we have about ourselves. Perhaps it's, I don't really think I can do this, right? There's a fear. Maybe I'm not worthy of it. Or another fear. What if I really succeed at this and things just get bigger than I can imagine? Some stressor is going on, and when we procrastinate, we feed the stress. And so it distracts you from the consequence, which is why we can do it repeatedly. There's a vicious cycle going on, right? We know we need to do it. We know that it's for our good, but yet we tend to put it off. And sometimes we do it in stages. We put it off and say, I'm going to do it a little bit later. Or, this is my truth now. Sometimes I would go and find something to clean up. I'll clean the kitchen. I'll fold clothes. I might do laundry, all working myself up to the thing that I know I need to be doing, finding some distraction. Willa said, how about when you just don't want to do it? And that's real, because a lot of times you just don't feel like doing it. So what happens when these things are going on? For the record, there's no such thing as a little procrastination. So if you're telling yourself that, we gotta change that narrative, because a little procrastination becomes a larger procrastination, and then a larger one, and then more consistently, and then before you know it, it's chronic. Right? And then you hear yourself saying, well, I'm just a procrastinator. That's why I didn't do it, because I have, a habit of procrastinating. As if once you admit it, it's okay. So no, it's not. And I think for the purpose of this conversation, we should agree that procrastination does not serve us well. And because it does not serve us well, we can choose something else. We can choose to shift gears. How do we do that? Renee said, I tend to hide behind helping others. I can't do my stuff because I got to help so many others. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Sometimes behind all of this, as Willa said, you just don't want to do it. You don't feel like doing it. Well, there's some things that causes that. Maybe you're overscheduled. Ooh, raise your hand. Any of you overschedule yourself? Do you double book? Do you triple book? Do you take on more than you should? I'm guilty. What I'm better at, though, is acknowledging and recognizing my habit. So whenever I'm feeling it come up, whenever I'm feeling procrastination coming up, there's an antidote to it. It's called action. You have to interrupt the pattern. And you have to do it in the moment when you hear yourself telling yourself why you can't do it. And once you interrupt it with some action, even if it's not the thing that you need to be doing first, but you just cut off the procrastination right at the moment when it comes up, and then do something. You disrupt that pattern of procrastination. You take away the happy pill that you give the brain when you say, oh, I'll get to it. I got more time tomorrow. I'm going to do it. And what you've done is you've stacked things and then you can't. So let's talk about what the actions are that would allow you to recognize it, because we know when we're doing it. It's no secret when we're doing it. We know. Right? But in the moment when we know, we start allowing our brain to write a script about why it's okay. But I'm going to ask you to reverse that script and start to say, I'm procrastinating. I'm right at the beginning of it. And I can interrupt the pattern by doing something, taking some action. So let me give you 5 ways to break the habit. I really gave you one already. But here are 5 specific ways. The first one, ask yourself, what do you believe about you that causes you to put things off? Is there some kind of conversation going on inside that causes you to put things off? And the conversation might be, I just have too many things. I can't do it today. I just can't. The conversation should be, or could be, let me say, let me look at the way I'm scheduling. Let me pick up my calendar, and I don't know if you're like me, but I'm still keeping a paper calendar. Hi, Marilyn. I'm still keeping a paper calendar because I can see it. I can look, and what I look for in my calendar is I look for white space. So I have a calendar with fairly large blocks. I book myself, but all throughout the day, I look for white space. What does that mean? It's the time when I'm not booked. It's the time when I get to catch my breath, organize myself, take a moment to meditate so I'm not feeling so tired. So when you ask yourself this question, you got to also wonder, does this have anything to do with how I think about my own scholarship? Like, am I smart enough? Do I have a degree? Am I an expert at this? Do I really know what I'm doing? Listen, when we started this live 21 weeks ago, I didn't know I hadn't done this. I wasn't sure what we were going to do. I wasn't setting this up. I said, okay. But the action was, we started. And if you were here from the beginning, you know that the Facebook would go out, I would unplug, I would get disconnected, I didn't have it together. I just hopped back on. You know, the one time I didn't know how the lighting was, didn't matter, just hop back on. action breaks up the fear. So you have to ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Just do it. Just do it. Just try. I would tell myself, there's nothing here for me to break. Even if the camera went off, right? Even if I'm not sure. There was a time when I would say, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Am I on? If you go back to the earlier lives we started, I would say, am I on? Is this on? I see live, but is it on? And you just keep doing it. Now I know when I'm on. Right? Cody said procrastination feels good, but the consequences, you're right, are not so great. So the second thing, eliminate the distractions. Eliminate your distractions. Do one big thing at a time. And I tell this story about, I liken it to an airport and a runway. All the airplanes are coming in, but they all can't land on the same runway at the same time. But the airport is big enough to hold all the airplanes. So you are certainly big enough and capable of holding all the creativity and all the dreams and ideas. Hold them, write them down, put them in a book. But don't get overwhelmed because you're trying to do them all at the same time. You all, the ones who know me, thank you for joining Tammy. I have so many irons in the fire. There's so many wonderful things that I have the blessing and the opportunity to be involved with. They all, however, point in the same direction of service. But even with that, I can't do them all at once. And there are many days when I'm totally overbooked. And I spend the time trying to figure out, how do I offload some of this, get some off my plate. And I don't have a problem with picking up the phone and saying, I made a commitment. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep that commitment. Can we reschedule? Or I have to say no. I'm being asked to show up here or come and speak over there. Or can I write, what I get a lot of, people asking me to write parts of their book or to, comment on something or provide feedback. What I get a lot is I get folks who send me things to read to get feedback. Well, I just can't do it. And I have to say no. And it's better to go on and say, you know what? I cannot do it. I would love to. I cannot do it in the time frame that you would want. But if you can wait 30 days or 2 weeks or however long it is, if you can wait that long, I promise I'll try to get to it. But when people send you things and, they want you to read it right away, in order for you to do that, you have to take something off of your calendar. And I think that's what Renee was talking about, right? Talking about filling up your day with so many things that others have asked you to do that you now can give your brain a happy pill and procrastinate and say, oh, I can't do that because I got so much else to do. Right? So write down those dreams and goals and all those things you want to do and try to put some time. I'm going to tell you later on. It's 3. It's coming up right now. Divide your to-do list into manageable sizes, with focusing on the hardest things first. Now, see, that's a twist, because I used to do all the little things first. Let me get all this little stuff out the way. I got a million little things and 2 big things to do. And I would spend the entire day doing all the little things. But now I do that in the reverse. I do the thing that I am most stressed about, that's going to take me a little more time, that I consider the hardest. I do that first. And once that's done, that's the happy pill that I give my brain. I'm like so relieved when I get that tough, hard thing off my plate. And writing is that for me. I have lots of writing projects. So when I get those things behind me, then the little things I can just get those done. Hey, Worthy, that's my sister joined us. Hi there. So I hope that helps you. Reverse that process. Don't do the little things first. Do the big things first. And then here's how I divide up, and I'll offer this as an idea for you. This is how I divide up my schedule. I wouldn't say every day, but in general, my week schedule or my month schedule. This is the way I divide it. I ask myself, what is on fire? Hey, Simone. What is on fire? What is urgent? And then what is important? I divide it into 3 things. What is on fire? That means if I don't do this thing today, I'm going to run into trouble. If I don't do this right now, there are some serious consequences. That's the what's on fire. I take care of those things on fire first. Then I go to my list of things that are urgent. And again, those are the things that are really important. But the house isn't going to burn down if I don't do it today. I have an option of doing it tomorrow. I tackle those things next. And then everything else in my life, I consider it important. Everything else. I really don't have a lot of not so important things. So everything else is when I get to it. Or those are the things that I'm more inclined to simply say no about. I hope that's helpful to you. Divide, put the most important things on top. And don't name it important or urgent or on fire unless it is. And then you can even take it a step further, because I have to do this at times. Is what you say is on fire, is it your fire or is it somebody else's fire? Because if it's somebody else's fire, it might not be the thing you need to be doing today. If it's somebody else's fire, you may be facing the opportunity to learn how to take care of yourself by saying, I'm sorry, I can't get to your most important thing today, because there are some most important things that I have to do. If you can, now, I'm certainly not talking about if folks are ill and, that kind of emergency stuff. I'm talking about when someone is asking you to do something. And I've had people call me and say, oh, can you read this tonight? Because I have something I got to turn in tomorrow. Well, I'm so sorry. I can't. I wish you would have asked me last week. But the fact that you may have procrastinated and now you're asking me to shift gears and make your fire my fire, I'm so sorry. I love you. It has nothing to do with whether or not I love you and I want to see you succeed. But it has everything to do with me taking care of me. The fire first has to be yours. I hope that's helpful. That was number 3. Number 4, allow generous and reasonable expectations of time frames and space for you to get the task done. If it's something that is going to take 2 days, don't give yourself 2 hours to do it. Right? Don't give yourself 2 hours to do a 2-day project and then put stress on yourself. And then guess what we do? We start to judge ourselves and start calling ourselves out of our name. You know what? I'm just a procrastinator. I'm not able to get stuff done. I don't know how I didn't, get it done. And I thought I would get it. No, you didn't give yourself a reasonable amount of time, right? Be gentle with yourself. Be kind to you. And don't put yourself under that kind of stress. Stage a battle that you can win. Give yourself a little extra time if you could. Make the deadline reasonable so that you can win. And then when you win, you can celebrate. What a success. I completed that task. I took that thing off my list. And then number 5, and we're talking about ways to break the habit of procrastination. Number 5, change how you see yourself. When you do well, compliment yourself. We've already talked about none of us are procrastinators. We may have a habit. Habits are or can be broken. If you have a habit of procrastination, that was yesterday. This is a new day. We start over. Look at that. Just as simple as that. State the intention. I'm intending to start over today. I am no longer being not so kind to myself, right? I'm going to change the way I see myself. I'm going to compliment myself when I get things done. I'm going to actually put the big stuff at the top of the list. I'm going to work from the things that are on fire in my life, the things that are critical in my life. And I'm going to get those things done so that I have a win I can celebrate. Right? And no, I'm not going to be calling myself a procrastinator because that's not who I am. I'm someone who used to have a habit of procrastinating. But I'm so much better now. I understand that it is a trick. And it is something that we can change with a simple decision. And I'm hoping that tonight is the night. Today is the day. Hey, Chanel. Today is the day when we make the decision not to procrastinate. And I've given you 5 ways that I think will be helpful. And you may come up with some other strategies for yourself, whatever it takes. Just know that procrastination is not who you are, and it does not serve you well. And there are ways to turn that around in a split second. My desire for you is that you feel much better about the things that are still on your list. And that when we get off of this conversation, you're going to go and divide that list up into reasonable tasks. And the things that don't belong to you, you're going to give them back. Send them back to where they came from. Put them on a list. And then go on and divide that list up into what's on fire, your own fire, what's urgent, and what's important. So, I thank you for being here. Hey, Sabrina Johnson. I thank you for joining me once again for week 21, Real Talk with Love. I am Coach Barbara Perkins, and it is my joy and my honor that you would stop by and spend some time with me. If you are thinking about coaching for yourselves, send me a message. I'm going to put my information in the thread. I'll be happy to talk with you about that. I have a YouTube channel now. I'm going to put that in the thread. I would love for you to subscribe to that channel Soon we're going to be doing these talks from YouTube as opposed to Facebook. But I thank you. It's been a wonderful 30-some minutes, and I'm glad you stopped by. Let's enjoy some Branners as we leave. God bless you, and have a really good week. Thank you all for joining, all of you. Hi, Della and Sabrina and Tracy. I'm looking at all the names. I hope I don't miss any of you. And Charlene, you know, when we first started, I used to give away something every Monday. And then I stopped doing that. I don't know why. I think I forgot. Hi, Tammy Lee. I think I forgot. But I'm going to give away something. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is Sabrina is on the thread, and she has her own. She's a young sister who worked for me in Los Angeles. She has her own product line, and I am going to purchase something from Sabrina for you, Charlene. Charlene has been the first one to log on for the last few weeks, and so she's going to get a gift from me. I'm going to get the gift from Sabrina because I want to support her business, and then it's going to Charlene. How's that? So thanks, everybody. I love you all. Have a good rest of your evening. Goodbye. God bless you. Thank you. Sabrina, put your contact in the thread, okay? And put some of your product stuff in the thread. Love you all. As Charlene would say, on purpose. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.